Well, due to lockdowns and travel bans, the COVID-19 pandemic prompted a record drop in global emissions last year as more people stayed home.
Lower carbon emissions were a silver lining from the pandemic, but according to recent data, it didn't affect the average global temperature. 2020 tied with 2016 as the hottest year on record.
And that wasn't the only big weather story last year. ClickOrlando.com's Brianna Voles is here with a look back, Bree.
No, Bridget, it wasn't the only big story. It definitely felt like 2020 was hot here in Central Florida. And while that certainly stands out, it was not the only memorable thing that happened. In fact, there were so many memorable things, it's hard to remember them all. Meteorologist Samara Kokinas is reminding us about some rare and record-breaking events that happened here in elsewhere. So I know that this is going to feel like lifetimes ago, but if you remember, in January of last year, Puerto Rico shook. A 10-day string of quakes, which included a powerful 6.4 earthquake, caused extensive damage and claimed lives. And although the Caribbean is a hot spot for seismic activity based on the location of the tectonic plates, the 6.4 quake was the most powerful to happen in over a century. Now, come March, this is when we get hot. The heat was on. Normally in early spring, the average high temperature is 79 degrees, okay? Central Florida hit the low 90s, and with no rain chances in sight, it added to the rain deficit that would quickly rocket to well above 10 inches below the normal rain totals. It took most of the summer to get back to normal rainfall values, and I certainly do remember that. Now, last June, so this was quite a few months ago, the dust started to settle. Do you remember seeing some hazy skies, kind of like that? Yes, thank you, Troy. Saharan dust visits each year in early hurricane season, but the dust in 2020 was far from average, like the whole year. In fact, it was abnormally thick and it lasted several days. It also kept the tropics quiet. Oh, I don't even like to say the Q word, knock on wood, but it brought air quality for those who suffer with breathing issues down to hazardous levels. Now, let's skip forward a little bit to August. The August day severe weather struck DeLand is something that residents there won't soon forget. The National Weather Service confirmed an EF2 tornado that tore through the city, leaving 11,000 people without power and causing thousands of dollars in damages. A second tornado, an EF0, was also confirmed that day. Something I know a lot of other people won't forget: the wildfires out west. Okay, those made headlines around the nation. A record-breaking heat wave and drought led to the most active wildfire season recorded in California in August. And I actually went out there shortly after these happened, and you could still smell it. I will never forget that smell. Okay, so let's talk about the tropical madness that was the 2020 hurricane season, right? I said they were quiet before. They did not stay quiet. Although Florida dodged a lot of activity, Louisiana was not so lucky. A record 5 named storms struck the state. 3 of those storms were hurricanes, including Hurricane Laura, which was the strongest to make landfall in terms of wind speed since 1856. So here was a little highlight from last year, and this wasn't too long ago. Clear skies on December 21st allowed many to enjoy the view of Jupiter and Saturn's Great Conjunction. That's something that hasn't happened in 800 years. Okay, just a couple days later, when we woke up December 25th, it wasn't a white Christmas, but it was pretty close. It sure was a cold one. It was the coldest Christmas in 25 years, with highs topping 53 degrees. So there you go. 2020 was busy in every way possible, including meteorologically. To read over our entire 2020 weather recap, you can find this web story over on ClickOrlando.com.